name's Knarr Jr. I was born here, and at the age of 3 or 4, my dad had a job in Long Island. He was working for Air Force Base there. We lived there till I was about 7 or 8 years old. He had another job offer into Wilkes-Barre, and we moved there. We were there for a little over a year, and one day the gentleman came to my mom's apartment door and said that my dad had passed away. I was 9 years old at the time. My brother was 7. I was raised to be helpful, be a volunteer, be respectful, and I spent a lot of time with my grandparents here, even when we lived in Long Island. She was part of the BFW. My grandfather worked forever at Reed's Dairy. We'd always get the orange dreamsicles and that, and I always admired the town. I always loved this area, and I remember, like, the fountain down where the library's at there, and the cannons, and a lot of the old buildings. I was married in October of 1968. Up on Bunker Hill is where I was living at the one time, and sat in the back porch. And I remember when I was a kid that the Women's Club and the JCs, they were big-time groups that were keeping the town motivated. And they used to do the fireworks on the 4th of July. It wasn't nothing huge or big, but at least it was, they got together, went up in the coal bank, and they shot fireworks off. And the last time that was done was in 1964, and then it just seemed to die off. I asked a lot of questions about it and that, and you heard everything that, money, help, things like that, because they were doing like I do. It was all volunteer work. So I said, well, why can't we do it? And I was actually active in the fire department. So we got a couple of the firemen together and the companies together, and we decided to try it. So I made the contact with a group out of Pennsylvania, out in Clearfield. That's where we started. The gentleman that owned that company actually came up here, sat in a meeting with us, asked him about fundraising and that, and he said he would supply us at the cost for Morning Glory wooden sparklers. Now, this was something new. It was a sparkler on a wooden stick, had 4 stages, and you didn't have to worry about the child and getting yourself burnt from the metal wire. I mean, I wore a lot of those scars over the years, but he agreed to send up 50 cases, and we didn't have the money or nothing yet. So after we sold them, we paid for them, and we made $8,000 profit on it. So, and this is what started it. So then we decided that, okay, let's try and make it more of an organization. I developed a Shamokin and Cole Township Fireworks Committee. So it was the Firemen's Committee. And that went on for a little while on that, and then everything started to die off. With the help of my family, my wife, my kids, friends, relatives, we started doing several different types of fundraising. Started off, we were doing the carnivals. So we'd have a block party. It started off as 3 days, then it went to 5, and then it went to 7. And then it was just, we had rides, we had everything. We would be doing bingo games. We were doing them 3 nights a week in separate churches. We used to go door to door with the help of the firemen and that. We sold cheese one year. We did similar to what the school's doing that. And it was a lot of street pounding, knocking on doors, because people don't realize, but the display is actually their display. It's sponsored by their donation. So the hard part was trying to figure out how to coordinate these donations. So then we decided to sit down because the fire departments started getting into their own carnivals and things like that. So it got to the point where it was more of its draining. So then I formed Citizens Fireworks because it was open to everybody in the whole community to be part of it. Now, we still have the organization, but there's only like 5 of us active in it. So some of the other stuff we did was I made 2 with the help of Paul Thomas Studios. Joyce Wojciechowski, she's passed away now, but she helped me with all the photos, and I did 2 then and now books. The original one was based on Edgewood Park and the city of Shamokin in Cole Township. The second one was Doodlebug Park. Things kept going against us, because then we couldn't get the help. We started offering the groups a percentage of what they get. The $700 give us 10%. So And that's how we worked it for a little while then. And then they couldn't get the help. And it got to the point where everything just started to dry up. My oldest son came to the rescue in the 80s, and he did with his brother and a few other of his friends, he put together Rock the Block. And he raised a little over $10,000. And that was just continuous bands playing. And even with all the chaos in that, there wasn't really that much trouble. I mean, my family put a lot of hours in. It isn't me. I mean, I was just trying to keep it together. I was just trying to guide it, keep it together, keep it moving. And it seems like every year people will tell us how great it is. But the question always is, well, did you do anything to help? I mean, if it wouldn't be for my family and a couple of the other families of the members that we still have, it couldn't be done. It'd be impossible. To set that up, it takes 12 of us 2 days because there's a lot of digging, carrying stuff, and things like that. The past couple of years, my son has included the help from Mr. Warhotch and them with the equipment. And then I brought on and joined with CBC, Citizens for a Better Community, and working together. That's what's been keeping it together the last 4 years. But the help is always needed because it takes less stress off. I'm at the point now where I do some of the wiring and I do the firing on the electrics. My oldest son and two of his friends do the shooting. The setup, like I said, there's 12, 13 of us up there that we trained one another to do what we had to do in that. So I hope we can keep going, but it all depends on the funding, and community don't pay me or my son or anybody else. All that money goes to pay to buy the shells. I mean, I have rheumatoid arthritis, I have sciatica. Right now I'm working at Knoebels for extra money. So it's just something that I did out of the goodness of my heart, but also because I want to be part of the community. And I think if more people would say, look, if he can do it, and I'm no millionaire, I mean, I have money invested in this that I'll never get back, and I don't plan on it. But I just did it because I keep it going. It brought a little brightness and sunshine to the town. It made my kids happy when we first started doing it, and then they joined me, and now they're helping do it. And I feel it's something good. It's something positive, just like what's going on with you and the rest of the people. This is the city's and Cole Township's fireworks display, and it's just something, a celebration. It's trying to keep something alive that was alive and passed on, and then we brought it back, revived it. That's all it's about.